Hey everyone! Today's video is a tutorial on making a mini Moses basket by crocheting the waistcoat stitch pattern. Before we get started, please like and subscribe below. For this project, you will need a wooden base, stitch markers, 8 skeins of t-shirt yarn that will be worked 2 strands at once, a 4.5mm hook to cast on the stitches on the base, and a 6mm hook to crochet the remainder of the project. Start by leaving a tail that you will securely work over, neatly tucking it away. Start by inserting the 4mm hook into one of the holes of the base. Pull up the yarn through the hole, making a loop, yarn over, and pull through the loop. Occasionally, turn the base to check the work at the back and position the tail neatly, holding it to the left as you continue casting your stitches over it. Insert your hook in the next hole, hold the tail to the left, pull up a loop, working over the tail, yarn over, and pull through both loops. I will demonstrate a few more cast-on stitches and then work the rest of round 1 off camera. See you at the end of the round. Here I am working the very last stitch of round 1, and then I will walk you through on how to join with an invisible join and chain up to start round 2. First, you need to switch to the 6mm hook. After casting on the last stitch of round 1, pull up a longer loop and bring it in front of your work, holding it to your left. Take your hook and insert from behind the first stitch worked on round 1. Pull the long loop through. Now, pull on the loop to adjust the size. Remove your hook and leave that stitch as a live stitch. Now insert your hook into the V of the stitch before it. Yarn over and pull through the V, then place the live stitch back on the hook. Now you have 2 stitches on the hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops. This counts as the first stitch of round 2. To work this pattern, you will be working into the V's at the bottom of each stitch and not into the top of the stitches. So here we are, not at the top, but insert into the V at the bottom of the stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. You will notice that the V's are lining up vertically, creating a beautiful waistcoat stitch pattern. I'll demonstrate a few more stitches and then I will complete the rest off camera. I like to check and shape the work as I go to help it take form. There are 2 remaining stitches on round 2. I will work these stitches and then I'll join them with an invisible join at the top of the first stitch that was worked on round 2. Here is the second to last stitch, and this is the last stitch of the round. I turned my camera so you could have a view of the work from inside the basket. When you insert the hook for the invisible join, it needs to be inserted below the bubbles that form at the back side of the pattern. You will work round 2 through round 11 by crocheting the waistcoat stitch and joining with the invisible join at the end of each round. Then on round 12, you will mark your work and crochet the handles, and finally on round 13, you will crochet the border and reinforce the handles. I'm now working on round 12, so have your stitch markers ready and we'll calculate and mark where the handles will be crocheted. Fold the two longer sides of the basket inward and estimate as close as possible where the two ends of the basket are. I placed black stitch markers on both ends of the basket, and now you have a side 1 and a side 2. Next, count the amount of stitches that are between the stitch markers. Make sure that you count the same number of stitches on each side. There are 9 stitches in between the stitch markers on each side, and these will be skipped when we form the handles. My little basket has 43 stitches on each side. I subtracted 9, which is how many stitches I will skip for the handle space. Now I have a total of 34 stitches on each side. Now I will divide this in half, and that is 17. Therefore, for the first side, I will crochet 17 stitches. We are at the blue marker and ready to form the first handle. Insert the hook in the V of the stitch marker and chain up 11. Then skip 9 stitches. Into the V of the 10th stitch, start crocheting the next set of 17 stitches. Then repeat the same for side 2. And we're finally on the last row of the basket. To work round 13, slip stitch into each stitch and crochet 13 single crochets over the chain 11 of the handles. In the V before the chain 11 of the handle, work a waistcoat stitch into it and not a slip stitch. And now it's time to work the 13 single crochets over the chain 11 of the handle. Try and shape the handle as you work. In the first V, work another waistcoat stitch and then continue with slip stitches all the way around until you reach the 11 chains of the second handle. And here we are working 13 single crochets over the chain 11 of the second handle. Here we are at the end of round 13. After working the last slip stitch, cut a long tail and pull through. To finish, pull the tail from the front of the loop towards the back by going under the top of the first stitch of round 13. Then, pull the tail through the middle of the stitch at the top of the last stitch worked on round 13. Securely weave the tail through and the mini Moses basket is complete. I hope my tutorial was helpful and that you enjoyed crocheting with me. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching.